Okay, welcome everybody to this stream. To this stream with very quite sad music. Not the best to start a channel. Probably not the best also to start live streaming here. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube too. So the purpose of this stream is to read together some books, some interesting books. Now that you're probably an English language teachers so much sad music. I don't know if you can hear me well. I'll try. It's like, there we go. The thing is that sad music is powerful, so powerful right now. So yeah, welcome to this space in which together we are going to read some literature probably if you are learning English now, like you're probably doing, probably it's difficult to start reading because if you're not a reader because you don't have time in your own language, well, it's going to be very difficult to develop that ability to read in English. So my work here is basically to help you, to give you a hand, to be with you, to read with you all along, all the way. And also, these kind of live streams are a complement of one of the courses that I teach in a university. So it's also for my students, no? To facilitate them access to some reading materials. So let's not hesitate anymore. Let's start. Let's go for it. So today we are reading this wonderful book that I have here. Oh my god, the green screen. So this book's called Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore. So this is one of the classics that are in the collection of the Oxford University Press, Oxford Bookworms. So very nice book, very interesting. It's a good story, and it's also not difficult to understand for learners of intermediate levels of English. So today we will be reading chapters 1 and 2 of this book, but not only reading, because only reading probably it's not that interesting to do in Twitch, right? Right, or on YouTube. So what I want to do is a little bit of a conversation about the book, some exercises, guide you through some exercises, and then we will start reading the course, reading this book. Sorry. So again, it's the first live stream, no? So again, we'll be reading Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore. We are going to do also some exercises. We are going to have a conversation before, because probably that's what Twitch is for, no? Like to have a conversation, a little bit of gaming, I think, and YouTube. There's also a lot of gaming, but I'm using it for reading anyway. So, an important point to do. My name, of course. So I'm Jose Luis. I am the owner and English language teacher. I teach English in a university. I also teach English here at www.joseteaching.com. So in that site, you will find any resources that you need to read with me, to do the activities with me, to learn English, okay? So let's stop wasting time and let's go for it. So I'm here, and oh my god, this is the correct one. I'm here on my webpage, hosteteaching.com, where you can find all the materials that you need for this. I only want you to go to the Learn English section, read with me, and then now that you are with the Read With Me section, please check the Lorna Doone chapters 1 and 2 blog post. And here you will find all the materials for this section. So, today's read, Lorna Doone. Also, before starting this session, I would like to tell you that this reading session is for learners with level B1 and B2. So pre-intermediate learners, be very welcome. Intermediate learners, be also very welcome. Unfortunately, for copyright reasons, I can't give you the book. I can't show you the book. So if you're interested in reading actually with me, you can buy the book. Here's the link on Amazon. But if you don't like Amazon, you can buy it anywhere else. Just check, make sure that is this edition, the edition of Oxford Bookworms Level 4. so you can read with me. Now, you can find here the reading recording after we finished this stream and some very interesting, or I think quite interesting activities that I designed for you. So it says activity number 1, vocabulary, and on and on and on and on. So you can enter here if you are curious uh, about what can you do with the reading that we will be doing here. So let's start everything right now. I have here in my background some images, and all these images are related in some way to my book. The thing is, in which way are these images related to it? So I have here some geography features here. Wow. Woof. I don't know. Where is it? It looks like New Zealand. Some of my students said this is like the Lord of the Rings, no? El Señor de los Anillos, like this place, Mordor, somewhere like that, no? So the thing, I don't know a lot about Lord of the Rings, but what I know is that I have here some mountains here in the background, no? Like very high mountains. Can you see them? I can see them here, like very tall, very high mountains. Now, so here are some mountains. So let's describe this picture. Now, like I have here some mountains. Those are the big ones, no? The huge geographical features, very big. But here I have ones that aren't so big, no? Like I can see these ones. I don't think this is a mountain. These are more, much less high. So these are smaller. But you know, it's strange to call them small mountains. Small mountains, that is not correct. I think it doesn't sound correct. So how do we call a small mountain? It's yeah, it's a problem here because yeah, we have mountain, the big one, but the small one, how do we call it? So that's probably what we would call in English a hill. So yeah, a hill, basically a small mountain. So here we have two hills, and what is interesting is that we have the hills here, we have the mountains in the background, but we also have some things that are not mountains, and that are also quite important part of the landscape here. I can see this thing, no? What is this? What is this? The this one. What is this? That comes from here, and goes to the background. It's water, no? It's water moving here, but it's not. Some say, oh, it's a river. It's a river because it's water that it's coming down. No? The water is going this direction. Water is flowing this direction. So it's a river. Some people say, no? Some of my students say it's a river. But it is not a river. Well, yeah. It's a kind of a river. But it's the same thing with a mountain. No? We have big mountain. And then we have small mountains, no? The hills. This is a small river. This is not a big river. This one is a small river. But it's the same thing. Like when we have the small river has also an special worth. So we cannot say like, well, we can say a small river, but it's not 100% correct. The best way to call it is a stream. So a small river, it's equal to a stream. So we have here mountains in the background. We have here small mountains, which are the hills. We have the stream, which is a small river. And then what else can you see there? I can see a lot of things. We can see shrubs. We can see then sand here. But we can also see this geographical feature. So it's the part that it's between two hills. Now this is in the middle. This part, it's in the middle of the hills. And what is the name of that portion, that part of ground, that area of land that it's in the middle between the two hills? Well, let me tell you the name of that. That is what we call a valley. This is a valley. A valley. And you, at this point, you can say, all right, that's a valley, that's a hill, those are mountains. Why should I care? Why should I care about all of this? ¿De qué me importa? No? Like, what is... I have a lot of vocabulary. Okay, this is important for our story. Because something is going to happen here. Something is going to happen in our story here. On a valley. Something terrible is going to happen here on our valley. Something's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I know. I'm not going to tell you what is going to happen here. But something is going to happen here. Okay, let's continue. Okay, yes, I know this is an English lesson, but let's study a little bit more of geography. Here we have another feature of the land. So probably this is part of the stream, no? We can see a lot of water falling, no? Like, what is the name of this? I know it in Spanish. Oh, I'm Mexican, so I know it in Spanish. This is a cascada, no? In English, what is the name of this? Okay, we have the name. This is a fall. Some people call it a fall, but its full name is a waterfall. Waterfall. Some people probably know it better as a fall. Some people probably know it as a waterfall. Both names are 100% correct. Fall and waterfall. Both names are okay. Both names are correct. So this is a waterfall, no? Where the water comes down at enormous speeds. So all of this is interconnected. All of these images are connected in the story. So we have here the mountains, the hills, the valley, the waterfall, the stream. Everything is connected in the story that today we're going to read. What do we have here? What is this? Okay, this is like a house, but it's more than that. And it's what we call a farm. So we have a farm here. Farm, a place where farmers live, no? People who work the land, people who take care of the animals, no? They live here. It's their farm. They are farmers. They take care of the land. They give us food, vegetables. They grow vegetables. They grow animals. That's good. So we have a farm, we have the hills, the mountains, the valley. What is going on here? Oh my god! I have surprised some people here in the in the fall. What they are having a little bit of a romance here. No? Like, probably can draw a little heart here. No, like, what do you think it happened here? What do you think is happening here? Like they are in love, probably. I don't know. Probably they are boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. We don't know. We cannot be sure about that. I don't know. For 100%, I'm not 100% sure about what is going on here, but look at their faces. I think there's a lot of love here. Oh my god, what an ugly heart. I'm trying to draw a good heart. But yeah, oh my god, yeah, they're in love. They're in love. Probably like this is better. They are in love. I think. No, I think they are in love. But wait a minute. Here we have something different. They are not in love. I can tell you that. From this moment on, I can tell you that these guys don't like each other. Look, this one has a gun. This one has a gun on it. No, no, probably a pistol. I don't know. I want to shoot. Like, oh my god, that's a powerful gun, and he killed a man. What happened to him? He's dead. Wow, something horrible happened here. All right. So let's stop here. Now that you have seen everything, all the pictures here, you can go and do some different activities. You can go and do activity 1, vocabulary. So everything that we have seen right now, you can check it out here. No, well, that's awesome. Like you can check it here, my webpage. I want you to open this page. That now that you are here studying with me, I think we are confident enough, so I can ask you to go to the webpage and match the word with the meaning. Hill, a small mountain. Farmer. Ooh, what is it? Elevation? Narrow river? What is that? That's it. Well, I'm the teacher. Now it's your turn. You can do it. And when you finish, what I want you to do is to see the picture again. You can find the picture again. You can find our picture again. And think about the questions that you have here. What kind of a story is this? Are we going to study a dramatic story, a tragedy, or a love story, a romantic story? What kind of a story do you think this is? And why? What is the reason? Who do you think are the main characters, the personajes, no, of the story? And what is their problem? They are in problems, but what is their problem? You can go here to the activity number 2, think these 3 questions, and you have here a comment section, a comment space. You can write here your answer to the questions that are above the photos. Obviously, as it says here, in this section, there is no right answers, no wrong answers. Everything that I'm asking for, it's your opinion. So you can come here anytime that you want, write your opinion, and publish it. You can also publish it on Facebook if you want. And then, when you finish, you can return here. Okay? You can return here to this video. Let's move to the next section. Let's move to the next section. Give me a second. Let me check how the stream is going on because, oof, God, I have had some couple of problems with it. I have had some problems with it. So let me see if it's okay. So, yep. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch without any problems as far as I can see. Yep. No problems whatsoever. So, let's go back to the webpage. Now, let's do together the activity number 3. So this is where it gets interesting. More interesting. I am going to read to you the introduction of the book. And what I would like you to do is to answer these questions that you have here. You have true or false questions, and you don't have to be very correct. I don't expect you to be 100% okay. No. Just answer according to what do you think and what do you believe. And don't check the answers until you finish reading the chapters. So you can answer here. And at the end, don't check the answers. You will have a button to check the answers. Don't check the answers until we finish. So number 1, listen to me. I will read you the introduction of the book. No, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to this introduction very carefully. And then you can answer this exercise. True or false? Answer what you think, what you believe. But first, listen. So, let's start. Let's put some ambience here. A little bit of music. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I will start. The Dunes are hated and feared all over Exmoor. When they ride out from Dune Valley to steal and rob from the local farms, no one can stop them. They are wild, strong men, and anyone who tries to fight them soon will be murdered. That's like John Street's father, shot down while riding home from market. And in these lawless days, only the king's soldiers can punish the Dunes. But the king is far away in London and has troubles on his own. As John grows up, he works hard on the farm and dreams of revenge for his father's death. But one day, he meets Lorna Doone. She's the girl of his dreams, gentle, beautiful, loving, and John loses his heart to her. But how can he marry a girl from the hated Doone family? And then there is Carver Doone, the most evil and dangerous of all the Doones, who plans to marry Lorna himself. So that's quite a story. One winter's day in 1673, young John Reed is riding home from school across the wide, lonely hills of Exmoor. He has passed Dune Valley, a dangerous place, as the Dunes are famous robbers and murderers. All Exmoor lives in fear of the Dunes. At home there is sad news waiting for young John, and he learns that he has a good reason to hate the Dunes. But in the years to come, he meets Lorna, with her lovely smile and big dark eyes. And soon he's deeply, hopelessly in love. So, I want you to take a second to think about this, about what I told you right now. And then, answer this. Exmoor is a place where few people live. True or false? The Doones live on a hill of Exmoor. John comes from a family of farmers. John's father is shot while stealing from a farm. Lorna looks beautiful, but she's cold and proud. Two men want to marry Lorna. What do you think? Answer these questions. I repeat you, these questions, all the materials that you need for this class are available in my website, www.joseteaching.com. So if you need the materials, just go there, and then you can go to the section Read with me, Lorna Doone. Then you will find everything that you need to follow this class. I will also post link in the chat so you can have it. You can have it, the link, for all the materials. Now, let's move to the next activity. I want you to tell me, what are your ideas? What do you think will happen in this story, in this book that we are going to read? Who do you think will die? Lorna? John? Everybody? I don't know. Who do you think will die? That's number one. Who do you think will marry Lorna? The hero of the story or the bad guy? What do you think? From what you heard, what do you think? What do you think will happen to the Doones, to the bad guys in the end? What kind of a story is this? So, you can answer this anytime. You can answer this right now. Or you can wait until we finish reading chapters 1 and 2. So please come here, write your comment, publish your comment so I can read you. I can see what do you think about this. When you finish, well, you can publish this. Now, let's go and read the book. Let's go and read Lorna Doone. So, let's move out from our houses, from wherever we are, and let's travel to the old days. Let's travel to the UK, to England in the 19th century. Let's imagine that we are there, that we are in a little village, and that there is a little bit of rain. Yeah, I want you to imagine that it's raining. Can you hear the rain? Can you hear the little droplets of water? If you can hear it, you are doing a good job. Now, wow, now you have done a very nice job. We are in a village and it's raining a lot. You need to be careful if you don't want to get a little bit wet. And that's how we start our story. All right. Let's start. All right. Chapter number 1. The end of the school days. I am John Reed, a farmer of the village of Oar in Somerset. And I have a story to tell you. It is about some things that happened to me in my younger days. On the 29th November 1673, when I was 12 years old, John Fry, a worker from our family farm, came to collect me from the school at Tiverton. He rode his horse up to the gate, leading his own little horse behind me. He was 2 weeks early, so I knew something was wrong. "Where are you? What are you doing here, John?" I asked him. "It's not the holidays yet." He would not look at me. "Oh, I know that, young Master Reed. But your mother has saved the best apples and cooked some wonderful cakes, all for you. And father?" "How's father?" I said. It was usually father who came to collect me. And it was strange that John Fry hadn't said anything about him. "Oh, he's very busy on the farm just now," he said. But John wasn't his usual self, and I knew that was a lie. When I had packed my bags and said goodbye to my friends, I got on my horse and we started the journey home. It was a long journey from Tiverton to Ayr, and in places the road was very bad. John Fry still would not tell me why he had come to collect me or answer my questions about father. He looked unhappy about something, but I tried to hope for the best, as boys always do. On the hill at the end of the Dulverton town, we saw a big coach with 6 horses. In the front seat of the coach sat a foreign-looking woman, and next to her was a little dark-haired girl. I could see from the girl's soft skin that she was from a rich family, and I felt just too shy to look at her more than once. She didn't look at me at all. Opposite to them sat a very beautiful lady in fashionable clothes, and next to her was a little boy who was about 2 or 3 years old. The woman in the front, I thought, must be the servant of the family. I always remembered the family afterwards, because I had never seen people wear so grand and so rich. After Dulverton, the road got worse and worse, and soon we came into a very dangerous part of the country. This was Exmoor, a place of high, wild hills and deep valleys. And on Exmoor lived a family of robbers called the Doones. Everyone was afraid of them. They had robbed and murdered on Exmoor for many years and had grown very strong. Now it was getting dark and the fog was coming down. It was just the kind of night when the Doones would be out, and we were coming near to the path that they always used. I wanted to ride fast and cross the dune path as quickly as possible, but John Fry knew better. Go slowly and quietly, he said, if you want to see your home again. But when we came to the valley where the dune path was, we heard the sound of horses. Hide, said John, and we rode our horses off the path and hid. But I wanted to look at the dunes and went up onto a hill above the path. From there, I saw a frightening sight. Below me, moving quietly, were 30 horsemen. They were heavy, strong men like all the dunes, and they were dressed for battle, carrying guns. Tied to their horses were all the things they had stolen. Some had sheep or other animals, but one man had a child across his horse, a little girl. She had on a very expensive dress, and I thought it was probably for that the dunes had stolen her. I could not see whether she was alive or dead, but the sight of that child made me sad and angry. When we got home to the farm, my father did not come out to meet us. Not even when the dogs ran up and made a lot of noise. Perhaps he has visitors, I thought, and it's too busy to come out. But really I knew this was not true. I went again and hid. I didn't want anyone to tell me anything. I heard my mother and sister crying. They came out to find me, but I could not look at them. Later they told me everything. My father had been killed. He had been murdered by the Dunes. It happened on his way back from the market at Porlock on a Saturday evening. He was riding with 6 other farmers, and the Dunes stopped them and asked them for the money. The other farmers passed their money over at once, but my father, no, he was brave. He rode at them, waving his long stick above his head. He managed to hit quite a few, but one Dune was waiting at the side of the road with a gun and shot him. Although we knew it was the Dunes who had killed my father, it was useless even to ask the local judges or law officers to do anything about it. They were afraid of the robbers too, or were even helping them. The Dunes did almost anything they wanted in Nexmoor. They were not local people. They came from the north of England, where their leader, Sir Ensor Doone, had been a rich man with a lot of land, but he argued with his cousin, the Earl of Lorne, who had even more land, and because of the trouble he caused, the king took away nearly everything that Sir Ensor owned. A proud, angry man, Sir Ensor refused to make peace with his cousin, and without his land and farms, he became very poor, very fast. Then he found that the people who had once been happy to know him now turned away from him. After this, Sir Ensor lived his life outside the law. With his wife and family and a few servants, he looked all over the country for a place to live where no one would know him and he could start again. He chose Exmoor, where few people live, and found the perfect place to build a new home. This was the place we now call Doone Valley. It is a green valley, far from any town, surrounded by steep, rocky mountains. At first, Sir Ensor lived peacefully, and the local people were friendly, even bringing him presents of food. But as his sons grew older, they did not want to work as farmers, and they began to take whatever they needed from the local farms and villages. They carried off farmers' daughters to be their wives and give them sons, and so over the years, the Doone family became bigger and bigger. They began as robbers, but robbery had quickly led to violence and murder. The people of Exmoor were too afraid to fight back because the Doones were big, strong men, and excellent fighters. And now, only soldiers could hope to break into their valley and defeat them. So, there was no punishment for my father's murderer. We buried him quietly, and my mother was left without a husband to manage our farm and take care of their 3 children. We were too young to be of much help to her yet. I was the oldest. Then there was Annie, 2 years younger than me. Then little Lizzie. For a while, I wanted revenge. I was strong and growing stronger every day. But my mother always called me down when I talked about revenge. She did not want to lose me too, and I used to worry about what would happen to her and my sisters if I were killed. We tried to get on with our lives, but we missed my father terribly. Sometimes my mother and Annie would remember him and cry, and sometimes John Fry saw me with tears in my eyes, which I said was because of the cold wind. Lizzie, though she was the cleverest of us all, was just too young to really understand what had happened. So the months passed. I learned how to shoot with my father's gun, and I worked hard on the farm to help my mother. Chapter 2. A Boy and a Girl. St. Valentine's Day, 1675. That was the day that changed my life forever, though I didn't know it then. I was 14. My mother had been ill and was not eating very well, so I went out to find something that she liked. Good, fresh fish caught from the clear river. I went first along the Lynn River that runs through our valley. Then I turned into backwater water. Though I knew that this river led to the Doone Valley, I did not think about it. I went on catching fish and moving up the river. Then suddenly found myself standing at the bottom of the cliffs outside Doone Valley. In front of me there was a waterfall, a steep hill of smooth, fast-moving water. It was a wild, lonely place surrounded by tall trees, and it was already getting late. I knew I should turn for home, but I also wanted very much to see what was at the top of that waterfall. It looked like a dangerous climb, but if I did not climb it, I would always remember that I was too frightened to do it. So I climbed. The water beat against my legs, once knocking me down so I nearly drowned, but I pulled myself up and went on. When I reached the top at last, my arms and legs were aching and my feet were cut by the rocks, so I fell in the grass, exhausted. When I opened my eyes for a few seconds, I didn't know where I was, but kneeling beside me, touching my face with a leaf, there was a very young girl. "Oh, I'm so glad," she whispered softly as I sat up and looked at her. "Now you'll try to be better, won't you?" I had never heard as sweet as a sound as this girl's voice, nor seen anything as beautiful as the large dark eyes that watched me, full of care and wonder. I stared at her without speaking, noticing her long, shining black hair. "What is your name?" she said. "And how did you get here? And what have you got on your back?" "They are fish for my mother," I said. "Very special fish, but I'll give you some if you like." Dear me, You are so proud of them when they are only fish. But look at your feet. They are bleeding. Let me tie something around them for you. Oh, I'm not worried about them, I said bravely. My name's John Reed. What's your name? Lorna Doone, she answered in a soft voice, and looked down at the grass. She seemed afraid to her own name. Lorna Doone, didn't you know? I stood up and touched her hand and tried to make her look at me, but she turned away. I felt sorry for her, and even more sorry when she tried to cry. Don't cry, I said. I'm sure you've never done any harm. I'll give you all my fish, Lorna, and catch some more for my mother. But she looked so sad, with the tears running down her face, that my heart ached for her, and I gave her a kiss. At once, my face turned red. Here was I, just a simple farmer's boy, but she, though young, was clearly a lady and far above me. She turned her head away, and I felt I should go, but I couldn't. She turned back to look at me. You must go, she said. They'll kill us if they find us together. You have found a way up into the valley which they could never believe. You must go now, but when your feet are better, you can come and tell me how they are. She smiled at me, and I could see that she liked me. We talked for a while longer, but then a shout came down the valley. Lorna's face changed from playfulness to fear. We whispered our goodbyes. Then Lorna ran away from me and lay in the grass, pretending to be asleep. I hid behind some rocks and saw 12 cruel-looking men come walking down the valley looking for Lorna. One of them, the biggest of them all, a man with a long black beard, found her. Here she is, he said. Here's our little queen. He picked her up and kissed her so hard that I heard him. Then he put her on his shoulders and carried her away. But as she went up in the valley on the back of his frightening man, Lorna turned and secretly held up her hand to me. Now I had to find a way out the valley and get home. I almost broke my neck several times, climbing down the mountain, as I did not get home until long after dark. My mother was angry with me, but I would not say where I had been. After my adventure, I thought a lot about this strange little girl I had met in the Doone Valley. But I never really imagined I would go back to the valley again. So after a while, I thought less about her and got on with my work on the farm. Okay. So, that's the end of chapter number 2 of this book, Lorna Doone, by R.D. Blackmore. Final activity of this section is number 4. Number 5, sorry. Number 4, we already done that. So final activity for these sessions, activity number 5, questions. So once that we have read everything, right now we've finished chapters 1, chapter 2. What I want you to do is to please come here to the website. Remember, all the materials on the website, joseteaching.com. So access the website and answer these questions in the forum, in the comment sections at the end of the page. Do you remember? Why did John remember the family in the coach? What were the news that the little child, little John, did not want to hear? Why did not the farmers fight back when the Doones attacked them? Why John wanted to climb the waterfall? That's crazy. Why? What was the reason? Why was Lorna sad? What make what made them sad to both of them? And why did Lorna tell John to go? So please, now that we finished, come here, answer your question, post them down here in the comment section. You can do it. And that would be it for today. Thank you so much for joining me in this little adventure. The first 2 chapters of our little adventure, in fact. Next week, next Friday, we will be taking a look to the other 2 chapters of the book. Chapter number 3 and chapter number 4 next week with more exercises for you and the live reading here in our Twitch channel, Jose Teaching, and in our YouTube channel with the same name. So, as I told you, that's it for today. Please join us next week. You can find more material in the Jose Teaching website. You can find live lessons, the videos, the live stream page, free ebooks, some guided lessons, and our courses here. So please visit it. Thank you very much for joining today, and have a wonderful day, or if you're here in America, have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye bye.